Goldberg, who, by the way, I hope is still a friend, we can disagree with each other, should not be canceled or put off her show, as much as I totally disagree with her crazy statement. Free speech. She should be there. She shouldn't get a timeout.
Not every single thing has to be for everybody.
Right.
We can have platforms that have stuff on them that not everyone on that platform or who consumes stuff on that platform enjoys. And The View is a particularly weird place to do it.
Well, Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view.
Right. And
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody.
Bill Maher has made it increasingly clear that whatever connection he once had with Whoopi Goldberg is likely over for good. What began as mild tension gradually turned into something far more serious. Their relationship was never especially close, and disputes surrounding COVID vaccinations only widened the gap. Although both previously attempted to smooth things out, Maher's latest comments suggest reconciliation is no longer realistic. The strain between them is obvious, the distance has grown, and the consequences continue to unfold. The situation has reached a point where separation seems permanent. Stay tuned and subscribe, because the story behind this fallout is far from ordinary.
To Arnold Schwarzenegger saying that immigrants should behave like guests. Well, they're truncating that a little, but that is basically what he said. And he is, of course, an immigrant himself. He came here with nothing but a loincloth and a jar of protein powder, and look how far he got. I'm not mad at it.
The conflict between Bill Maher and Whoopi Goldberg gained widespread attention after Maher publicly supported Arnold Schwarzenegger during an appearance on The View. In that segment, Schwarzenegger argued that immigrants should respect the country they enter, describing them as guests in the United States. Whoopi reacted strongly, interpreting his remarks as dismissive and offensive toward immigrant communities. The exchange between her and Schwarzenegger quickly escalated. Rather than remaining neutral, Maher stepped in and defended Schwarzenegger, calling the comment reasonable despite the clear tension in the room. Whoopi firmly disagreed, believing Maher was endorsing a message she felt talked down to immigrants. That moment reignited unresolved tensions and added pressure to a relationship already strained and fragile.
And I think whenever you have a candidate like Kamala Harris, that clearly was not the choice of the Democrat Party, when she got shoehorned into that space. I think you tried to roll out Megan Thee Stallion and Lil Jon, the East Side Boys, and everybody was trying to say, hey, black man, let's vote for this now. It just really didn't work.
Well, most of them still did.
Well, one in three black men in the state of Texas voted for President Trump.
Okay, well, that's youth men and in the state.
Well, I'm being very specific here because it does matter. We are seeing a seismic shift, and that's the most vote, the highest vote that we got in the Republican Party in the history.
No doubt about it. Trump did better with minorities across the board.
Whoopi Goldberg argued that Donald Trump isn't truly serious about immigration, framing it as though she had uncovered a hidden truth that he only wants order without enforcement. But calling for border control has never been subtle or secret. Recall Kamala Harris's brief responsibility over border issues, when crossings appeared unusually relaxed, almost celebratory at times. No barriers, no consequences. Many entrants were far from ideal visitors. The nation has long battled gang violence, drug trafficking, and cartel influence, yet a permissive approach was still promoted. Despite that, Whoopi suggests holding immigrants fully accountable is excessive. This is why Maher aligns with Arnold Schwarzenegger's belief that newcomers should behave like respectful guests, an idea strangely treated as offensive. Maher's position is easy to understand. It's straightforward logic, grounded in order, responsibility, and what most people would simply recognize as common sense.
A member of the Saturday Night Live cast was a Harris supporter. Well, what if one of them wasn't? What if one of those cast members was for Trump? Would they have felt comfortable saying so? I really don't think so. They would have had to keep it to themselves. That's not a good place for us to be. And I remember when Elon Musk hosted, and this is well before he was a Trumper. This is 3 or 4 years. He was just the richest man in the world. And a number of the cast members on Saturday Night Live, they didn't want to deal with him. And I was thinking, really? You have Elon Musk on your show for a week. You could talk even about this issue that bothers you so much, that he's so rich and lots of people aren't. But no, you don't want to even deal with him.
Maher's argument resonates with anyone paying attention to modern political discourse. Frustration with the contemporary left continues to grow, especially during moments like Whoopi's. The moment Maher and Schwarzenegger challenged her stance, they were instantly cast as villains. That reaction highlights a deeper problem. While the left frequently promotes tolerance and inclusion, it often struggles to accept dissenting views. Step outside the approved narrative and participation ends. You're labeled, dismissed, and pushed aside. Genuine discussion becomes rare. Disagreement is met with shamming, silencing, or exclusion. This pattern repeats itself. Demand conformity, punish opposition, and insist progress is unquestionable. That's why Maher continues raising these issues. It isn't just reasonable, it's necessary. Without voices willing to challenge consensus, debate disappears and echo chambers dominate political spaces.
First woman president, first black woman president, and first Asian president. But I don't vote for who will be the first. I vote for who will win. And for whatever reason, Harris has never been popular. You can count the number of delegates she won in the 2020 primaries on one hand, as long as that hand has no fingers. Sometimes life isn't fair. It's not fair that she's not popular. She's intelligent and accomplished, and in fact was put in charge of the border. And look at how...
Bill Maher didn't soften his criticism of Whoopi Goldberg. He confronted her with concerns she seemed unwilling to acknowledge. Maher argued that if Kamala Harris had become president, her approach to immigration could have produced serious consequences. He spoke directly, outlining how Harris's tendency to yield to far-left pressure and support looser border policies might have increased instability and threatened national security. What pushed Maher further was Goldberg's vocal support for anti-ICE activists in California and beyond. To him, that support crossed a clear boundary. He criticized her for backing movements he believes endanger communities and weaken law enforcement. This wasn't a casual disagreement. It was Maher clearly defining what he sees as Goldberg's most significant political blind spots.
Help is still a friend. We can disagree with each other. Should not be canceled or put off her show, as much as I totally disagree with her crazy statement. Free speech. She should be there. She shouldn't get a timeout.
Not every single thing has to be for everybody.
Right.
We can have platforms that have stuff on them that not everyone on that platform or who consumes stuff on that platform enjoys. And The View is a particularly weird place to do it.
Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America. There is one view.
Right. And
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can...
Even during his heated disagreement with Whoopi Goldberg, Bill Maher demonstrates a level of openness rarely seen in entertainment. Unlike many critics, he doesn't place all blame on her. While Maher openly rejects Goldberg's arguments and often finds them unreasonable, he still defends her right to express them. No matter how flawed he believes her views are, he insists they shouldn't be silenced. For Maher, disagreement is not justification for censorship. This sharply contrasts with Goldberg's approach. Over the years, she has frequently supported punishing or silencing those who oppose her views. This contrast reveals a deeper divide. Goldberg tends towards suppressing dissent, while Maher consistently argues for free expression. The difference highlights competing philosophies, selective outrage versus open debate.
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
in many ways, that criticism feels earned. Recently, the show has increasingly resembled an echo chamber where a small group of left-leaning voices repeat familiar talking points. Discussions often drift away from facts, and genuine debate is scarce. Opinions shared at the table are treated as unquestionable truth. The constant fixation on Donald Trump only worsens the issue. Rarely does an episode pass without his name surfacing. When he isn't the focus, conversations frequently lose direction. The hosts project moral certainty while clinging to narratives that struggle under basic scrutiny. Although the show presents itself as serious political discussion, it often feels driven more by emotion than logic or reasoned analysis.
Have a very different opinion. And the answer is not to make them sit in a corner for 2 weeks. That is insulting. It's so insulting. But to make a 65-year-old, the person at ABC News said, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. Reflect. How insulting for someone of her age, who's a sophisticated person.
The whole point of free speech is we don't need free speech when we're right, when everyone agrees with us. We need free speech when we're wrong. We need free speech to make mistakes. We need free speech to say really unpopular things. And one of the reasons I'm always proud to come on this show, and I suspect you feel the same way, Catherine, is this is the only space left on television where people can...
Entering that space with a different viewpoint almost guarantees backlash. The pattern is predictable. Anyone who challenges progressive positions is quickly shouted down, mocked, or overwhelmed until their argument disappears. So-called token conservatives like Alyssa Farah Griffin endure repeated dismissals as their perspectives are minimized day after day. It's difficult not to sympathize with them. Some even argue dissenting views shouldn't be allowed because they don't align with the dominant narrative. Bill Maher firmly rejects that idea. He believes everyone deserves the right to speak, regardless of how flawed or controversial their opinions may be. To Maher, silencing people is far more dangerous than simply disagreeing with them.
And misogyny. They voted for him because they felt like, I think the biggest common denominator in this election is people want a good life and ability to provide for their family.
Well,
and whether we agree or not with Donald Trump's plans,
Black people
they thought that he was reflective.
One of the poorest demographics in this country, but they voted for Kamala Harris.
But there was a split, and more of them voted for Donald Trump than had historically. I think that there's such a desire. If you really think the vast majority of this country voted because of racism and misogyny, you're missing it. Most of my family, a lot of my family doesn't have college degrees.
But the stats are the stats.
But that's not, it doesn't say I voted for Donald Trump because of racism. That's not what What stat are you talking about?
Let me just dissect the
Yes, you can. There's a lot.
The eye rolls and dismissive reactions are impossible to miss whenever Alyssa Farah Griffin challenges progressive narratives on The View. Sunny Hostin, in particular, often signals open contempt. While black voters have historically supported Democrats, that loyalty has shifted in recent years, with Donald Trump gaining unexpected backing and expanding his coalition. Yet the panel frequently dismisses this shift rather than engaging with it. The Maher-Goldberg conflict reflects a broader cultural divide over politics and free speech. Maher consistently defends open debate, even when he disagrees, while Whoopi leans toward cancellation tactics to shut down opposing views. With smugness, obsession, and hostility baked into the format, ongoing conflict seems unavoidable.